Hi there. So today I just returned from the theater with my brother. I had some free tickets to watch any movie really, but one in particular that stood out to me. Um, an earlier time I was in the theater was this movie from Illumination, the guys behind Minions and now also the Super Mario Brothers movie, was this movie called Migration, or in Danish Langt fra Andedammen, which roughly translated is Far from the Dam. Um, both titles alluding to the plot where you have this dog family, a father, a mother, a big brother, and a little sister, and they have lived their whole life in this dam, because the father is overprotective, and he's very fearful of the outside world. So he has spent his whole life in the dam, and has has raised his kids very protectively. So they are staying, and that's final. Um, but then one day they are visited by some other birds who are just who are just taking a rest before they continue further south. They're going to Jamaica, and this this encounter sparks a sense of adventure in the mother and the kids. So they try to convince the father to take a chance and go out, or fly out and explore. And at first, and I'm not spoiling anything that's not in the trailer. At first, the father is of course still very oh no, we can't do that because it's dangerous out there. Um, we are happy here, but then the mother begins to go on the defensive, like, no, you are happy here. We want adventure. We want to go out there and see what else life has to offer. And of course, first, the father continues to be stubborn, uh, until later that evening, when he talks to I don't know if it's his father or the mother's. He's called, he's their grandpa, essentially. Um, and they have a little talk, which is serious, but also comes off very sarcastic. That this movie has great humor, in my opinion, where he says, "You are right. You should stay here where you have everything you need. You have food. You have a roof over your heads. So do like me. Stay here your whole life." And then he gets into a lot of things, like the fact that he doesn't he's lonely and doesn't have any friends, and because he is this senile dog person. um, it sounds like he is proud of it, but you can see the father's expression, that he kind of he realizes at this point that grandpa is right, that if he doesn't, as his wife said, takes a chance and goes out and lives a little, then life is gonna pass him by. And I feel that a smart person said to me at one point that a good children's movie is not just a good movie for children, but also has something to offer for adults. So while on paper and of course, after this, the father completely changes on a dime. He's like, "Come on, family, let's go out adventuring," and then shit and shenanigans happens, and they go from one location to the other, and through one dangerous scene after another. Spoiler alert: no one dies, so I'm very happy for that. I hate death in any movie, basically. I don't know if that makes me soft or weak or pathetic or whatever, but I want everyone to survive, and sometimes also the bad guy, unless it's a bad guy that has redeeming qualities. But so yeah, while on paper the movie is just it's just described as this movie where a dog family has to convince the father to go out into the world, but that's really only the first 10 minutes or so. The rest of the movie is really, like I said, it's um it's a movie that teaches you to or not teaches you, but it it's a movie about living. It's a movie about not just staying at home all the time, even though that's where you are most comfortable, of course. And sure, we all need to sit back at home and relax, and where we feel safe. But you also need to go out there, leave your comfort zone every once in a while, and live, explore, make new friends, see see what life has to offer. And that message hit very hard for me, especially as a 30 plus year adult, because throughout my whole life, and it gets a bit personal here, but throughout my whole life I have always been for one thing, I was always the and even though I wasn't the only nerd in class, I was always the unpopular kid. Rarely had any. I rarely went home and played with the other kids. I often compare my childhood to that of the earlier chapters of Naruto. Back when he had no friends, everyone shunned him, and in turn he made all sorts of pranks in order to get people's attention, likely because he figured that bad attention is better than no attention. And while I didn't prank anyone because I didn't have the heart for that, I was a super lonely child. Apart from the fact that I have siblings, so I wasn't that lonely. But and then as I grew up, I never went to parties or anything. Never went out with friends. The friends I didn't have out in the city to go on bars and disco clubs or whatever whatever all of that is called. I was always homestuck. I was always at home, kicking back, playing on my PlayStation or Nintendo or whatever I had, and always tried to convince myself that I didn't need all of that other stuff. Partying and getting drunk, and yeah, all of that stuff other people do. But now that I don't know I don't exactly know why or how it happened, but all of a sudden it was like a switch flipped inside my head, and I was like, I I have I have forgotten to live my life. I have watched my whole life pass me by, and whenever whenever I see young people or other people in general out in the city who are like having a good time together and laughing, I sometimes I sometimes scoff at them like, oh, youth these days, old man shaking his fist at clouds. But in reality, when I look when I look back at myself, it's only because I wish I was them. I wish that I hadn't let my life pass me by. And of course, the silver lining is that it's never too late. Like you know what they say, that now you know, and knowing is half the battle. Like, if I was still in denial that I don't need to be social, I'm perfectly happy alone, without friends, without any contacts or connections, just playing my video games every weekend out, all the time, is what I'm trying to say. But now that I have realized that something is missing in my life, something is missing inside me. Now that I've realized that, I can do something about it. I can, and that's one of my New Year's resolutions, to go out there and live my life. Not maybe not maybe not every night, but Friday nights and Saturday, maybe just every once in a while, go out there and meet people, and have a good time. Put myself out there and say, "Here I am, life. Here I am." Um, and I had already made this self discovery before I watched this movie, but I'm just trying to say that the message of this movie, at least what I got out of it as a 30-plus-year adult, um, confirmed this answer that I had arrived at. Like, this whole, I need to go out and live my life while I still can. That realization was further cemented with this movie. And again, you could say that the father learns this lesson really really quickly, because they take off 10 minutes into the movie, and then the rest of the movie is them and their adventures at various locations, and they meet other friends who help them get to their destination. um so but the general theme of living life and going out on adventures, while still being, a protective family father, because sometimes they get into trouble, and then this because it's also it's mostly a journey of growth and self discovery for the father, because he doesn't see himself as the bravest person, but whenever someone threatens him or his family, he the feathers are off, so to speak. So you really see this dad character grow as a person, and of course it's not just about him. There are also again, they meet other I was about to say duck creatures. They meet other birds that great characters. You really get to grow to like them, and you want everyone to have a happy ending. There are also humans in the movie, especially the main villain, who is a human. And the funny thing is that aside from once time in the movie, one dance scene, this singer who shows up and sings, of course. Apart from that, no humans have any speaking lines in the movie. Um, so yeah, it's self discovery for the dad. The mom also has some very good moments. Um, I don't want to spoil anything, because I want you to watch it. because it is a really sweet family movie. But at one point, the son and the daughter are on their own and have to go fetch their parents, which and they it's a point where something has happened that makes the son unable to fly, like his wings have been damaged. And then he gets an idea, a genius idea from his sister that helps him fly again and come to come to rescue the parents. So that's another thing apart from the whole movie having this underlying theme of living and not letting life pass you by. It also has some really heartwarming and really genius moments. Okay, I haven't watched every single animated movie out there, but there were some great idea here that I hadn't personally seen before, where I was like, that's really clever. What you did there, like there's this scene where the parents they are trapped on a dance floor, and you see from their perspective how and of course the humans they don't know they don't look where they are treading, so you just see all of these feet that constantly threaten to squash these birds, and they're like fumbling around in confusion. But then they observe the humans and realize that if they just go with the flow and start dancing as well, then and then they escape the situation. And again, not to spoil, but that whole thing about dancing and teamwork between a wife and a husband, that comes into play again later in the movie. So while it isn't the deepest movie, like it's not on Puss in Boots 2 level, but there are a lot of great details. There are things that get introduced are brought back again later for some greater purpose. Me and my brother found it a very funny movie. We were a bit worried that because the trailer had us slapping our knees off, and because a handful of years ago we went to watch a live action movie with our mom called Spy, and we with that movie we found that all the funny shit was in the trailer. Throughout the whole movie, when we went to watch it, we were completely stone-faced, like so ever since then, whenever we see a funny trailer, we are a bit, cautious, a bit wary. Is this gonna be one of those, or is this movie actually gonna be funny? And it was. It genuinely was. Not only were the scenes that were funny in the trailer, they were funny in the movie as well. But other jokes worked very well in the movie, because sometimes a trailer is only funny because the jokes, they hit you like this. One joke onto the next scene, one joke onto the next scene. In the movie, these jokes are a bit more, or a lot more, spread out. But this movie actually made it work. So yeah, it's colorful. It has high tempo, but also knows when to have more quiet somber moments. It has good jokes, and I know jokes, as with many other things, are subjective, but I found it funny. There were a lot of touching moments, a lot of heartfelt moments where I was on the brink of tears, and I could hear that my brother was as well. The soundtrack knows when to kick in and kick up a storm, or if you have an epic moment or something like that. And again, the characters were very they were very likable as well. So so yeah, I highly recommend it. Again, it's not a 10 out of 10 a 10 out of 10 masterpiece like Puss in Boots that I would give 10 out of 10 without even blinking. This one is more a 7 out of 10, and that's 8 out of 10. Sorry, 7 or 8 out of 10 thereabout, and that's not because it's a bad movie in any regard. There was only one. There was actually only one scene I didn't like earlier on in the movie. It's a bit after they have the family has left their dam, where they meet this this bird. I don't know, I don't remember the name of it. Who you are not really sure if she is a villain or not, and it's one of those it's one of those fake out moments where they yeah, it's a joke that they played a bit too long for my liking, but it's not like it drags down the movie on its own. Like one bad scene drags down the movie. Maybe if it was the climax or something like that, but this one scene, nah, forget about it. The whole movie it's good. It has a lot of great qualities. I would definitely let kids sit down and watch it. It really has substance. It has a message. It's not just small yellow guys running around speaking fake French, and just like distracting the kids with keys in front of their face for 1.5 hours. This movie actually has something to it. It has some. It has a message. It has something for both kids and adults, and really, that's that's all I'm asking for. So yeah, it's there's nothing inherently wrong with the movie for me to not give it a 10 out of 10, but sometimes it's not just about what's wrong and what's good about a movie. Sometimes it's also just, do you feel that the movie is a 10 out of 10? Like, do you don't have to necessarily compare it to other movies. Like, this movie is not as good as Puss in Boots, so therefore it's not a 10 out of 10. I try to judge movies and video games, for that matter, on their own merits. So I don't give this 8 out of 10 because it doesn't stack up to another movie that I gave 10 out of 10, but it's more like it just feels right. This movie feels like a solid, for me at least, a solid 8 out of 10. Other people who are more critical, like, oh, the animation is bad, or oh, the lighting is bad, or the characters, the soundtracks, whatever the case may be. Other people who may be more critical than me may give it a lower score, but I'm not other people. I'm myself, and I feel that that this is a good solid 8 out of 10, and I would, if you have kids, or if you yourself like heartfelt, sweet anime, not anime, animated family features, then this is a solid recommendation. And me and my brother are both very, very glad that we went to see it. So yeah, that's the long and short of it. wanted to get it off of my chest while it was still the movie was still fresh in my head. So yeah, leave. I don't usually say this, but leave a comment if you have something to add. Do you have any New Year's resolutions, or are you in the same boat as me, that you are getting older and feel that it's about time that you started seeing what else life has to offer? Please tell me, and until next time, see ya.